Tejas is funny. Let's see if this is too fast. Nah, it's fine. आज अंधेरे में हम इंसान ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। खरे हमरा अधिकार भगवान राधिकाने भक्त घरे हमरा अधिकार भगवान राधिकाने करम करम पर किरण बिचारे भगवान किरण बिचारे। इन अखियन को प्रभु करारे इन अखियन को प्रभु करारे। ज्योति से पहचान ज्योति से पहचान। आज अंधेरे में है हम इंसान ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। हम खोए संधान तिहारे प्रभु संतान तिहारे। हम तो है संतान तिहारे प्रभु संतान तिहारे। तेरे दया के हम अधिकारी प्रभु ये हम अधिकारी। दुनिया होए सुखी हमारी दुनिया होए सुखी हमारी। ये सारे वरदान ये सारे वरदान। आज अंधेरे में हम इंसान ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। आज अंधेरे में हम इंसान ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। Go ahead and stand up for me, Terapu, to start off with, and take a flower in your hand. Om Shri Padmatmane Namah. Namaste, devotees, and Jai Sita Ram. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our Sunday morning service. This very rainy, but to be beautiful, that's what I'm hoping, April 30th, 2023. As we commence with our puja for today, devotees, I ask we go ahead and we prepare our minds and our bodies to pray to Bhagwan. We clasp our hands, we close our eyes, and we start by taking a deep breath in, filling our lungs all the way up, straightening our spine. And as you exhale, relax your upper body, drop your shoulders, relax your neck, your forehead, relax your entire body. Remove any stress that may be inside. With your eyes closed, I want you to clear your mind of all negative thoughts, all worldly desires, and anything that may be causing you distress. And instead, at this time, focus on a form of Bhagwan that's most pleasing to you, one that helps you concentrate and focus and maintain devotion. And join together with me as we chant our opening prayers. Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Hari Om Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Ishavasyam Nidam Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjita Magrudhakasya Swidhanam Om Sahana Vavatam Sahano Bhunakta Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. We offer prayers to Prithvi Mata as we bless and sanctify the seat onto which we sit. Om Samutra Vasane Devi Parvatastane Mandite Vishnu Patnim Namastubhyam Padisparsham Kshamaswame Om Prithvi Payadrata Loka Devi Tom Vishnu Nadrata Tvam Shadharyamam Devi Pavitram Kuruchasanam Om Shri Prithvi Devaya Namaham. Place your flower down on the altar and go ahead and take your seat. And if you want, Terapu, I can take those fruits and put them over here. Thank you. Go ahead and take some water in your right hand and wash your hands. Om Hasta Prakshalanam Samarpayami Govindaya Namaha. It's about to ask Tejas to do it, and I realized I had all the paper towels. I'm so sorry, you should have said something. We sip water 3 times to purify the body. Om Amrito Pastaranamasi Swaha. Om Amrita Pidhanamasi Swaha. Om Satyam Yashaha Shri Mai Shri Shrayatam Swaha. We wash our hands again. Om Apavitra Pavitroa Sarvavashtam Gatopiva Yasmerit Pundarikaksham Sabhayabhyam Tada Shuchi. It's A-OK. That's why I'm here. Om Chandanasya Mahatpunyam Pavitram Papanashanam Aparam Harite Nityam Lakshmi Stishtate Sarvada Om. Om. We take water on our left hand now as we commence with Angsparish as we bless the various parts of our body. Om Ang Mehasyastu. We ask, O Lord, by thy grace, may my tongue be ever blessed with the power of speech. Om Nasor Me Pranorastu. We ask, O Lord, may my nostrils be blessed with healthy, vital air. Om Akshor Me Chakshurastu. We ask, O Lord, may my eyes be blessed with the perfect power of vision. Om Kanyor Me Shrotamastu. We ask, O Lord, may my ears be blessed with the power of hearing. Om Bahor Me Balamastu. We ask, O Lord, may my arms be blessed with strength. Om Urhor Me Onjavastu. We ask, O Lord, may my legs be blessed with vitality. Om Marishtani Miangani Tanustanawa Me Sahasantu. We ask, O Lord, may all the other parts of my body be safe from harm, rendering them healthy and sound for life's daily work. Go ahead and take another flower in your hand. Any color is fine. And at this time, devotees, we join together as we commence in chanting the most powerful Gayatri Mantra. Om Nagakshe Varane Devi Akshare Brahmavadini Gayatri Jagat Madhar Vishwayoni Namostute. Om Bhuri Bhuvaswa Tatsavitur Bharenyam Bharaguni Vasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayata. Om Bhuri Bhuvaswa Tatsavitur Bharenyam Bharaguni Vasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayatam. Om Bhuri Bhuvaswa Tatsavitur Varenyam Bharaguni Vasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonah Prachodayatam. Hari Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Prem Sabaro Gayatri Mata Ki Jai. You can place your flowers down, Terapu. So devotees, like I said, every week we're going to cover a different Gayatri Mantra. And if you were listening last week, you should know that there is a structure behind how these Gayatri Mantras are made. So instead of me telling you who this is for, I want you to tell me who this is for. And you've heard it before. Om Janakanandanye Vidame Bhumi Jaya Dhimahi Tano Sita Prachodhayatam. Huh? Mother Sita, how did we know that though? Oh, because I said it. That's right. So the third line in the last, yes, that third line is always your giveaway. It's always for who it's for. And so Om Janakanandanye Vidamehe. We talk about the parents or the lineage of Mother Sita. Bhumi Jaya Dhimahi. Things related more to her line, her lineage, and her lifetime. Om Tano Sita Prachodayat. So we're always saying these different Gayatri mantras for the different mothers. So with these last couple of days having been a breach into Sita Jayanti, really getting into the Friday, Saturday time, it's always important that if you don't know a full prayer, that you can find out the Gayatri mantra. Now, if you don't know a Gayatri mantra, my phone number is readily accessible. You could always text me to get it. I mean, I'm not going to say no, you know. So it's always important for us to have some sort of prayer. If we don't know a prayer for every Dewa, that's fine. But having that Gayatri mantra is very powerful. And it's really powerful for the reason of the fact that it's not only the name of that specific Dewa, but it also talks about the lineage. Those are always very powerful things because it's really the lineage of that person is also the name of that Dewa. You know, that's kind of how it worked in Guyana at the times. And this is how I understood it, at least. Your father's first name would become your last name, and then that tradition would carry on down the line. So that name, yeah, imagine your last name being something crazy. You looked at each other like, you know, my dad changed ours, but his father's name was Jagdanand Biyadari, and all of his brothers and sisters' last name is Jagdanand. That's our middle name. But again, that was tradition. So that was how we maintained lineage, but that's how we also remembered things like when we did funeral work, the names of our aunts, uncles, grandparents, great-grandparents. Now it's a little harder because you'll get into a ceremony and be like, what's your aunt's name? And we called her Bugzi. So, oh, Bugzi. You know, it was a way for us to remember that lineage, but also the name and where we came from. So knowing these things is very important. We'll sing that one again so you all have it, and that way if you want to go back to YouTube, you can see it. Om Janaka Nandinye Vidamehe Bhumi Jaya Dhimahi Tano Sita Prachodhayatam. Simple 3 lines. And again, we will make sure to get you all a copy of that too. I'll work with our secretary to see if we can get some of these things emailed out on a weekly basis. And I also have to put it in the Mandir, not the Mandir, but the description of the YouTube channel for today. All right, go ahead and take a red flower for me now, Terrapool, or anything close to red. Now that we've prepared our minds and our bodies for our pujas for today, we'll begin chanting and saying prayers to the specific devas. We start off with that Lord who removes, creates, but destroys all obstacles. I know I said that in a weird order. We ask him to create obstacles that help us learn lessons, but remove any unnecessary obstacles in our way. We offer our next prayers to Lord Ganesh. Om Shri Ganapataye Namaham. Om Yajananam Bhota Ganadhi Sevitam Kapitha Jammu Palacharam Hakshanam Umasutam Shoka Vinashakarakam Namami Viganeshwara Pada Pankajam Namami Viganeshwara Pada Pankajam. At this time, devotees, I request that the Kirtan group offer one bhajan dedicated to Lord Ganesh as we commence with our puja up front at this time.
Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Mata Jake Parvati, Pita Mahadeva, Jai Ganesh Deva. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Mata Jake Parvati, Pita Mahadeva, Jai Ganesh Deva. Ladwan ka bhog lage sant kare seva, sant kare seva. Ladwan ka bhog lage sant kare seva, Jai Ganesh Deva. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Mata Jake Parvati, Pita Mahadeva, Jai Ganesh Deva. Ekadant dayavant chari bujadari, chari bujadari. Mat ke sindur sohe mus ke savari, मूसके सवारी। दुखियों के दुख हर परमानंद देवा, जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा। माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा, जय गणेश देवा। अंधन को आँख देत कुड़ियन को काया, कुड़ियन को काया। बंजन का पुत्र देत निर्जन को माया, निर्जन को माया। बहु से पार करो नाथ भजन करो तेरा, जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा। माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा, जय गणेश देवा। जो तेरा ज्ञान करो ज्ञान मिले उसको, ज्ञान मिले उसको। चोर तुझे यार भला जाओ में किसको, जाओ में किसको। हे देवा कृपा करो कष्ट हरो मेरा, जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा। माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा, जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश जय गणेश जय गणेश देवा। माता जाके पार्वती पिता महादेवा, जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश देवा। जय गणेश देवा।
And then go ahead and take another flower, red flower in your hand. There we go. At this time, devotees, we join together, so we offer our final pratana to Lord Ganesh. Om Shri Ganapataye Namaha. Om Vakratuna Mahakaya. Suryakoti Samaprabha. Nirviganam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Raksha Raksha Gana Raksha Raksha Trailokya Rakshakar Bhaktanam Bhayam Karta Trata Bhava Bhavaranavar. Om Shri Mahaganadipatay Namam Prem se Bolo Ganesh Bhagwan ki jai. Place the flower down in front of Lord Ganesh. Go ahead and take a white flower next. Devotees, we join together as we offer our prayers to that universal mother of knowledge, learning, wisdom, and music. We offer our prayers to Mother Saraswati. Om Maha Saraswati Namaha. Om Saraswati Mahamage Vidye Kamalanuchine Vidyarupe Vishalakshi Vidyam Dehi Namostute. Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varare Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Om Maha Saraswati Namaha. Place the flower down right there. You're going to take that lighter from Tejas to light this diya right here from Mother Lakshmi. So when you light it, Terapura, light it and melt the ghee around here first, and then you can light the actual diya part second. And at this time, devotees, we offer prayers to that Mother of prosperity, wealth, and light in this universe. We offer prayers to Mother Lakshmi. Om Lakshmi karotu kalyanam arogyam dana sampadam Mama Shatru Vinashaya Deepa Jyotir Namostute. Take a pink flower and hold on to it. Om Namaste Astu Mahamaya Shripite Surabhujite Shankha Chakra Gara Haste Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Namaste Garura Rudhe Kola Sura Bhayankari Sarva Papa Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Sarvagye Sarvavarade Sarvarushra Bhayankari Sarvarukha Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Siddhi Buddhi Prade Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayini Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Adyantarhite Devi Adi Shakti Maheshwari Yoga Jay Yoga Sambhote Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Stula Sukshma Maharodre Mahashakti Mahodare Mahapapa Hare Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Padmasanastiti Devi Parabrahma Swarupini Paramishi Jagane Matar Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Shvetam Bharadhave Devi Nanalakar Bhushate Jagatastiti Jagane Matar Mahalakshmi Namostute. Mahalakshmi Namostute. Om Mahalakshmi Namaham. Place your flower down here and then take a yellow flower in your hand next. And finally, devotees, we join together as we offer prayers to the Universal Mother and that destroy of all evils in our life. We offer our obediences to Adi Shakti, Durga Mata. Om Durgaya Namaham. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadra Kali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swadhana Mostute. Om Devi Chamunde Jai Puthartini Hardini Jai Sarvagate Devi Kale Ratri Namostute. Devi Sarvabhuteshu Vishnu Maiti Shabdita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarvabhuteshu Mudhi Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shraddha Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shanti Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarvabhuteshu Pushti Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Devi Sarvabhuteshu Daya Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. As we pray to Mother Durga, devotees, we say, O Durga Mata, Thou art the Universal Mother, and we, your children, worship you in many forms. O Ma, we see you as a Buddhi, wisdom, Lakshmi, prosperity, Shakti, energy, Shraddha, faith, Shanti, peace, Tushti, contentment, and Daya, compassion. And as we pray to you, Ma, Namastasye, 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 Namo Namaha, we bow to thee again and again. Devotees, we offer prayers to Mother Durga in the form of the Universal Mother. Matri Rupe, Ya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matri Rupena Sanstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah. Dehi Samhagyam Arogyam Dehi Me Paramam Sukham Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Visho Jahi. At this time, devotees, a request that we have 2 bhajans dedicated to the Universal Mothers as we commence with our puja of
Saraswati Sharare Ma Saraswati Sharare Gur is agyana udar se Gur is agyana udar se Veena pani tar de tar सूर्य ब्रह्मा विष्णु गजानन जिन चरणों को सेवते। सूर्य ब्रह्मा विष्णु गजानन जिन चरणों को सेवते। हम शिशु है अज्ञानी माता, हम शिशु है अज्ञानी माता, जिन चरणों का प्यार दे। वीणा पानी तार दे, तार दे, तार दे माँ सरस्वती शारदे, माँ सरस्वती शारदे। मूर्ख हम नहीं जानी जननी पूजन वंदन ध्यान को। मूर्ख हम नहीं जानी जननी पूजन वंदन ध्यान को। आदि शक्ति करिश्मा हमें, आदि शक्ति करिश्मा हमें, पूजा के उद्गार दे। वीणा पानी तार दे, तार दे, तार दे माँ सरस्वती शारदे, माँ सरस्वती शारदे। श्वेत कमल तेरा आसन है, श्वेत हंस तेरा वाहन है। श्वेत कमल तेरा आसन है, श्वेत हंस तेरा वाहन है। हम पर स्निग्ध दृष्टि कर जननी, हम पर स्निग्ध दृष्टि कर जननी, बोर शीर कर उदार दे। वीणा पानी तार दे, तार दे, तार दे माँ सरस्वती शारदे, माँ सरस्वती शारदे। घोर इस अज्ञान उदर से, घोर इस अज्ञान उदर से, वीणा पानी तार दे, तार दे, तार दे माँ सरस्वती शारदे, माँ सरस्वती शारदे, 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 शारदे। जय जय लक्ष्मी माता, हे माता, हे माता। जय जय लक्ष्मी माता, हे माता, हे माता। तू सुन ले, तू सुन ले, तू सुन ले मैं त्रिपुखा ओ माता। जय जय लक्ष्मी माता, हे माता, हे माता। जय जय लक्ष्मी माता, हे माता, हे माता। सावित्री तू ही गौरी तू ही विष्णु प्रिया है ओ ज्योति बाई तेरी रूप कई तेरी लीला तेरी लीला तेरी लीला अपरंपार अपरंपार ओ माता जय जय लक्ष्मी माता हे माता जय जय लक्ष्मी माता हे माता जय जय लक्ष्मी माता हे माता
सरस्वती माता की जय। प्रेम से बोलो लक्ष्मी माता की जय। प्रेम से बोलो आदि शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय। Go ahead and take a few different color flowers in your hand. And at this time, devotees, we join together so we offer prayers and obediences to the most influential beings in our lives. Those beings that dictate essentially when we can and cannot perform different rituals in our lives, what moments we can observe certain occasions, the name that we're given, and even the temperament that we have. We offer our prayers to the Navgraha Devata, as we refer to them in English, the 9 planets. Om Navgraha Devataya Namaha. Dharam Murari Srupuranta Pari Bhanu Shashivo Mesuto Buddhascha Gurusya Shukraha Shanirahu Ketua Sarve Graha Shanti Karam Bhavantu Sarve Graha Shanti Karam Bhavantu.
Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaye Namah.
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 Suryaye Namah. Chandramaye Namah.
Suryaye Namah. Chandramaye Namah.
Chandramaye Namah. Bhumaye Namah.
Chandramaye Namah. Bhumaye Namah.
Bhumaye Namah. Buddhaye Namah.
Bhumaye Namah. Buddhaye Namah.
Buddhaye Namah. Brihaspataye Namah.
Buddhaye Namah. Brihaspataye Namah.
Brihaspataye Namah. Shukraye Namah.
Brihaspataye Namah. Shukraye Namah.
Shukraye Namah. Shanicharaye Namah.
Shukraye Namah. Shanicharaye Namah.
Shanicharaye Namah. Rahave Namah.
Shanicharaye Namah. Rahave Namah.
Rahave Namah. Ketave Namah.
Rahave Namah. Ketave Namah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaye Namah.
Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaye Namah.
Suryaya Namah Bhaskaraaya Namah
Suryaya Namah Bhaskaraaya Namah
Bhaskaraaya Namah Adityaya Namah
Bhaskaraaya Namah Adityaya Namah
Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaya Namah
Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaya Namah
Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaya Namah Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaya Namah Om Namo Bhagavate Suryaya Namah.
Anybody can tell me the biggest difference between a Hindu calendar and an American calendar? One doesn't make sense. Great job, Tejas. One goes by the sun and one goes by the moon. Now, what's the difference in time there? How long is a solar day? 24 hours. It's always 24 hours. Consistently, it will be 24 hours until the end of time. Well, till the end of the earth when the sun gets really big and consumes us. How long is a lunar day? How many hours? It depends. It depends on the day. A lunar day is not always going to be 24 hours. Some days it could be 18 hours. Some days, the longest it could be is up to 33 hours. So way past that 24-hour mark. So when we get asked about different events that go on in Hinduism, that's why it's always so controversial, because it's us as pundits measuring where the moon is, how long that day is, when it ends specifically. Because sometimes when the lunar cycle ends, we're at like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And as much as we all love to come and worship, I don't know how many people, based off their work day, can come at 3 o'clock in the morning to temple to do, let's say, a Ram Navami Puja or Hanuman Jayanti Puja. So just know that when we're reading calendars and understanding dates and times, that's why there's always a variation in the day. It's not because that's when it's celebrated in India, because when it's celebrated in India, it should be celebrated here, but every time zone has its own different little nuances that we have to be respectful of and understanding of. Okay? Again, the use of saying, oh, well, that's what time they celebrate in India, it's kind of an invalid response. It's really, this is when the moon is in the correct position. That's why when we do certain pujas, we do them at certain times, and most of the times it's at night, even though it should be a day puja. So sometimes it's more appropriate to do a Ram Navami Puja here in Georgia, the Eastern Standard Time Zone, at 7 o'clock at night rather than at noon. Versus in India or Sri Lanka, 11, 12 o'clock in the afternoon is more appropriate, because, again, all the time zones and everything based off Sanatana Dharma started there. So just know there's nuances and differences. If you all ever want to discuss that anymore, I'm more than happy to talk about it, because it does relate to the Navgraha Devata, how they're aligned, and a lot of the different things related to that. But since we rely on a solar calendar here in the United States, especially with our times and with our jobs and all of our other functions, we offer prayers and obediences to that being that exists in the form of the sun, and that's the sustainer of all life on this planet. We join together as we offer prayers to Surya Narayan Bhagwan. Om Suryaya Namah, 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 Suryaya Namah. Hari Deva Namastubhyam Prasiddha Mama Bhaskaram Divakar Namastubhyam Prabhakar Namostubhe. Suryaya Namaha, Suryaya Namaha, Suryaya Namaha, Suryaya Namaha. Om Prem se Bolo Navgraha Devata ki jai, Prem se Bolo Surya Narayan Bhagavan ki jai. All right, Terpo, you're going to take 2 yellow flowers, 1 white flower, a pink flower, and then a red flower. Awesome. And we're going to hold on to those devotees as we join together, as we offer our praise and obediences. First and foremost, starting off with that sustainer of all things dharmic, all things righteous in this universe, we offer praise to Lord Vishnu. ॐ शान्तकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं ॐ लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुभवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम् ॐ सशङ्खचक्रं सकिरीटकुण्डलं सपीतवस्त्रं सरसीरुहेक्षणं सहारवक्षस्थलशोभिकौस्तुभाश्रियं नमामि विष्णु शिरसा चतुर्भुजं नमामि विष्णु शिरसा चतुर्भुजं. We continue by offering prayers to the seventh incarnation of Lord Vishnu. We offer prayers to Lord Rama. Om Ramaya Ramabhandraya Ramachandraya Vedhise Raghunathaya Nathaya Sithaya Pataye Namaha. We offer our prayers next to Mother Sita. Om Jagatasudha Jagajanini Janaki Atashaya Priya Karunanidaniki Taki Jugapada Kamala Manao Jasu Kripa Niramala Matipa. We offer prayers to Hanuman Swami. Om Manojavamaratatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhimatam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vaniriyothamukyam Shri Ramadutam Sharadam Prapadhi Shri Ramadutam Sharadam Prapadhi. And then next devotees, we offer prayers to the eighth incarnation of Lord Vishnu. We offer prayers to Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Om Nikhararavinne Napararavinham Mukharvinne Vinivishnayam Votasya Patrasya Putishnayanam Balam Mukundam Manasasmaram Balam Mukundam Manasasmaram. Om Krishna Vasudevaya Devaki Nandhanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Bhanghum Langayati Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam. Om Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum Krishnam Vande Jagatgurum. At this time, devotees, I request that the Kirtan group offer 2 to 3 bhajans dedicated to Lord Vishnu, his various incarnations, Mother Sita or Hanuman Swami, as we commence with our puja up front. Alright, so.
Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari
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 Jai Gopi Janavallabha Jai Girvaradari Jai Gopi Janavallabha Jai Girvaradari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari
Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari
Mudali Manohar Karuna Sagar
Murli Manohar Karuna Sagar
Murali Manohar Karuna Sagar
Murli Manohar Karuna Sagar
Murali Manohar Karuna Sagar Murali
Manohar Karuna Sagar
Jai Govardhanadari Jai Girvaradari जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
यशोदनंदन ब्रज जनरंजन
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 जमुना तीर बनचारी जय गिरवरदारी जय राधा माधव जय गिरवरदारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे
राम राम हरे हरे
पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो.
Go ahead.
वस्तु अमोल दीमड़ी सतगुरु वस्तु अमोल दीमड़ी सतगुरु कृपा करो अपनायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन
बन पायो पायो जी मैंने राम लखन धन कायो.
जन्म जन्म की पुण्य जी पाई जन्म जन्म की
पूजी पाई.
जग में सभी को आयो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन
धन पायो.
कड़चिन कूते चोरन लूते कड़चिन कूते चोरन लूते धिन धिन बढ़त सवायो पायो जी मैंने दिन दिन भरत सवायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन
बन पायो.
सत की नव के वतीय सतगुरु सत की नव के वतीय सतगुरु भव सागर तर आयो पायो जी मैंने भव सागर तर आयो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन
बन पायो.
मेरा की प्रभु गिरिधर नागर मेरा की प्रभु गिरिधर नागर हर्ष हर्ष यश गावो पायो जी मैंने हर्ष हर्ष यश गावो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो.
श्री राधे गोविंद भज मन श्री राधे श्री राधे गोपाल भज मन श्री राधे
श्री राधे गोपाल
भज मन श्री राधे
श्री राधे गोविंद भज मन श्री राधे
श्री राधे गोविंद भज मन श्री राधे
श्री राधे जय जय राधे
श्री राधे जय जय
जय राधे
श्री राधे जय जय राधे
श्री राधे जय जय राधे
श्री राधे गोपाल भज मन श्री राधे
श्री राधे गोपाल
भज मन
श्री राधे
श्री राधे
Shri Radhe Govind Bhajuman Shri Radhe
Shri Radhe Jai Jai 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 Radhe
तू मिला तो मिले ऐसे जन्नत मुझे अब किसी और जन्नत की परवाह नहीं तू मिला तो मिले ऐसे जन्नत मुझे अब किसी और जन्नत की परवाह नहीं मिट गए फासले हम हुई दूरियां मिट गए फासले हम हुई दूरियां खत्म होने की है सारे मजबूरियां वक्त में बख्श दे ऐसे राहत मुझे अब किसी और राहत के परवाह नहीं तू मिला तो मिले ऐसे जन्नत मुझे अब किसी और जन्नत के परवाह नहीं जाने क्या राह में लोग कहते रहे जाने क्या राह में लोग कहते रहे रूह तरपते रहे हंस के सहते रहे तेरे करुणा ने दी जो मोहब्बत मुझे अब किसी और मोहब्बत की परवाह नहीं तू मिला तो मिले ऐसे जन्नत मुझे अब किसी और जन्नत की परवाह नहीं एक मूरत इसी कश्मकश में रहे एक मूरत इसी कश्मकश में रहे जिसकी थी आरज़ू बात भी बन गए ख्वाब लगता है सारे हकीकत मुझे अब किसी भी हकीकत की परवाह नहीं तू मिला तो मिले ऐसे जन्नत मुझे अब किसी और जन्नत की परवाह नहीं तू मिला तो मिले ऐसे जन्नत मुझे अब किसी और जन्नत की परवाह नहीं श्री राधे गोविंद भज मन श्री राधे
Radhe Govind Bhaj Man Shri Radhe
श्री राधे गोपाल भज मन श्री राधे
Shri Radhe Gopal Bhaj Man Shri Radhe
श्री राधे जय जय राधे
Shri Radhe
Shri Radhe Jai Jai Radhe
Shri Radhe Jai Jai Radhe.
Om Prem se bolo Vishnu Bhagwan ki Jai, Prem se bolo Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki Jai, Prem se bolo Sita Mata ki Jai, Prem se bolo Hanuman Swami ki Jai, Prem se bolo Krishna Chandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Go ahead and take a flower in your hand, Tara. If there's white, that'd be preferable. And at this time, devotees, we join together as we offer praise to that universal Father and that universal Guru, to that destroyer of all evils in our life and in this universe. So we offer praise and obediences to Lord Shiva. Samsarasaram bhujagendraharam Sara santam hirdayardavunne Bhavam bhavani sahitam namami Bhavam bhavani sahitam namami Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya. Therefore, you can head with Mahendra to the Shiva Lingam. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Shiva Hare Shiva Rama Sakhi Prabhu Devadhatapanivaranahi Vibhu Anjanjaneshwariyadhav Pahimam Shiva Hare Vijayam Kuru Me Varam Shiva Hare Vijayam Kuru Me Varam Ramanamochana Rama Dayanidhi Param Guru Vajarakshaka Gopati Shivatano Bhavashankar Paimam Shiva Hare Vijayam Guru Me Varam Shiva Hare Vijayam Guru Me Varam Swanaranjana Mangala Mandiram Majati Te Purusha Paramam Bharam Bhavati Thasya Sukam Paramadbhutam Shiva Hare Vijayam Guru Me Varam Shiva Hare Vijayam Guru Me Varam Jaya Yudhishthira Valabha Bhupati Jaya Jaya Arjita Punya Payonidhi Jaya Kripamaya Krishna Namostute Shiva Hare Vijayam Guru Me Varam Shiva Hare Vijayam Guru Me Varam Bhava Vimochana Madhava Mapati Sukha Vimana Sahansa Shiva Vrati Janak Jarat Raghava Rakshamam Shiva Hare Vijayam Guru Me Varam Shiva Hare Vijayam Guru Me Varam Avani Mandhala Mangala Mapati Jaladha Sundhara Rama Ramapati Nigama Kirti Gunarana Gopate Shiva Hare Vijayam पतित पावन नाममयी लता तव यशो विमलं प्रदीयते तदपि माधवमं किमुपक्षते शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् अमरतापरदेवर रामपते विजयतस्तव नाम घनोपमम् मयि कथं गुरुणार्णव जायते शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् हनुमतं प्रियतापकरं प्रभु सुरसर्जितशिखारये गुरु मनोविभाग्यं विस्मरणं कृतं शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् नरहरिरतिरञ्जनसुन्दरम् पतत्या शिवरामवतस्तवम् विशति रामचरणं भुजे शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम् शिव हरे विजयं कुरु मे वरम्।
हर हर शंभो शंभो शिव महादेव शंभो शंभो शिव महादेव शंभो शंभो हर हर शंभो शंभो शिव महादेव शंभो शंभो शिव महादेव शंभो शंभो नागेन्द्रहाराय त्रिलोचनाय भस्मांगरागाय महेश्वराय नित्याय शुद्धाय दिगंबराय तस्मै मकाराय नमः शिवाय हर हर शंभो शंभो शिव महादेव शंभो शंभो शिव महादेव शंभो शिवाय गौरी वर्णारविन्द सूर्याय दक्ष ध्वरनासकाय श्रीनीलकण्ठाय वृषध्वजाय तस्मै शिकाराय नमः शिवाय हर हर शंभो शंभो शिव महादेव शंभो शंभो शिव महादेव शंभो
शंभो ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ
शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय
रामेश्वरा शिव रामेश्वरा हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
रामेश्वरा शिव रामेश्वरा
हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय
गंगाधरा शिव गंगाधरा हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
गंगाधरा शिव गंगाधरा हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय
जत्तादरा शिव जत्तादरा हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
जता रहा शिव
जत्तादरा
हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय
सोमेश्वरा शिव सोमेश्वरा हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
सोमेश्वरा शिव सोमेश्वरा हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर भोले नमः शिवाय
विश्वेश्वरा शिव विश्वेश्वरा हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
विश्वेश्वरा शिव विश्वेश्वरा हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
कोतेश्वरा शिव कोतेश्वरा हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय तेश्वरा
शिव कोतेश्वरा हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय हर हर बोले नमः शिवाय
ॐ नमः शिवाय ॐ नमः शिवाय hara bole Namah Shivaya.
Hara Hara Bole Namah Shivaya. Hara Hara Bole Namah Shivaya.
Devotees, we offer this next prayer for all those suffering from various illnesses, diseases, injuries, and ailments. We ask for them to have a fast, speedy, and full recovery. We also offer a prayer for those transitioning from this world to the next. May that passage be a smooth and tranquil. Om Yajami Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanat Mrityurmukshio Mamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajami Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanat Mrityurmukshio Mamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajami Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Vandanat Mrityurmukshio Mamrutat. Om Gangadapati Namaha. Om Parvati Namaha. Om Nandishwaraya Namaha. Om Vasuki Namaha. Om Shri Sambhasamha Shivaya Namaha. Prem se bolo Shiva Shankara Bhagwan ki jai. Devotees, we offer this next prayer to our Guru. If you don't have a Guru, you take Lord Shiva or any devata in your mind as your universal Guru, as we join together in prayer. Om Guru da Brahma, Guru da Vishnu, Guru da Deo Maheshwara, Guru da Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Guru Namah. Om Dhyana Moolam Guru da Murti, Puja Moolam Guru da Param, Mantra Moolam Guru da Vakyam, Moksha Moolam Guru da Kripar, Prem se Guru Dev ki jai. Devotees, for all those prasad that share away, I should please that. Oh my goodness. I ask that you please come forth at this time. Everybody have a flower? Flowers, flowers. I was like, what did we miss? We hold our prasad in both hands, make sure it's not touching the floor, clothing, or anything else as we offer it to Bhagwan. Om Naivedyam Grihitam Deva Bhakti Mehi Chalam Kuru ईप्सितमेव वरं देहि परत्रया पराङ्गतिम् ओमिदं फलं मया देवा स्थापितं पुरतस्तवां तेन मे सफलावाप्तिर्भवज्जन्मनि जन्मनि ॐ सर्वपापहरं दिव्यं गाङ्गेयं निर्मलं जलम् आचमनं मया रक्तं गृह्यतां पुरुषोत्तमम्
आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन बिलीने की बैन सुदाम के चंदल बिलीने की बैन सुदाम के चंदल रुचि रुचि भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन दुर्योधन की मेवा त्यागे दुर्योधन की मेवा त्यागे साग विदुर कर कायो प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन जो कोई तुमरा भोग लगावे जो कोई तुमरा भोग लगावे सुख संपत्ति करावे प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन ऐसा भोग लगावे प्यारे मोहन ऐसा भोग लगावे प्यारे मोहन सब अमृत हो जाए प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ प्यारे मोहन जो कोई ऐसा भोग को खावे जो कोई ऐसा भोग को खावे सब अमृत हो जाए प्यारे मोहन आओ भोग लगाओ 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 प्यारे मोहन.
At this time, devotees, I ask that we all join together as we commence in chanting our Hava mantras. Om Agni Purohitam Yagyasya Niyamritmajam Otaram Ratnadhatamam Agni Devaya Namaham Om Prajapati Swaha Prajapati
Namama
Om Indraya
Swaha Idam Indraya Idam Namama
Om Agane Swaha
Idam Agane Idam Namama
Om Somaya
Swaha Idam Somaya Idam Namama
Om Bhum
Swaha Idam Agane Idam Namama
Om Bhuvan Swaha
Idam Vayave Idam Namama
Om Swaha Swaha
Idam Suryaya Idam Namama
Om Suryaya Namaha
Swaha Idam Suryaya idam namama.
Om Chandraya Namaha.
Swaha. Idam Chandraya idam namama.
Om Bhaumaya Namaha.
Swaha. Idam Bhumaya idam namama.
Om Buddhaya Namaha.
Swaha. Idam Buddhaya idam namama.
Om Brihaspataye Namaha.
Swaha. Idam Brihaspati idam namama.
Om Shukraya Namaha.
Swaha. Idam Shukraya idam namama.
Om Shanishcharaya Namaha.
Swaha. Idam Shanishwaraya idam namama.
Om Rahave Namaha.
Swaha. Idam Rahave idam namama.
Om Ketave Namaha.
Swaha. Idam Ketave idam namama.
Om Ganeshaya Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Mahaгаuriye Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Mahasaraswatiye Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Mahalakshmiye Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Mahadurgaye Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Guruye Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Brahmane Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Vishnave Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Swaha.
Om Ramaya Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Sitaye Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Hanumate Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Krishnaya Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Shivaya Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Sarvebhyo Devebhyo Namaha.
Swaha.
Om Sarvebhyo Pitribhyo Namaha.
Swadaha. Om Bhurabhuvaswa Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurabhuvaswa Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurabhuvaswa Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat Swaha.
Take everything together in your hands and please stand as we join together commencing with our final offering known as Puranahuti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Murhanam Nivoratim Pratimah Swanarambrat Ajatam Aganim Pravhigvam Samrajatitim Jananam Asana Patram Chanayam Tireva Swaha. Om Sarvam Goy Puranagam Swaha. Om Sarvam Goy Puranagam Swaha. Om Sarvam Goy Puranagam Swaha. We take blessings from Agneta Deva. Om Tanapagani Sita no me pahi. Om Mario Regani Sadmur me dehi. Om Varachorgan si Varachume dehi. Om Magnayan Vai Tanva Udanam Tanma Pruna. Om Tejo si Tejamai dehi. Om Virimasi Virimai dehi. Om Balamasi Balamai dehi. Om Ojo si Ojamai dehi. Om Manyurasi Manyumai dehi. Om Sahosi Sohomai dehi. Om Shanti Rastu, Pushti Rastu, Vritti Rastu, Veda Papram, Tatipati Mashtu Dvipere Chatushpade Sura Shanti Bhavatu. Achmanyam. Om Sarva Papaharam Divyam Yangeyam Niramalam Jalam Achmanamayatam Grihitam Purushottamam. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Hari Om Prem Swarg Agnir Devata Ki Jai. Before we commence with our sermon for today, devotees, we offer prayers to Lord Ganesh to remove any obstacles that may exist so that we can learn this information. We offer prayers to Mother Saraswati to provide us with clarity of mind, to allow us to turn this knowledge into wisdom. And we offer prayers to our gurus who laid the paths before us, so we may be able to sit down to hear from the scriptures. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kurume Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Om Saraswati Namastubhyam Varare Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurue Namah Tasmai Shri Gurue Namah Prem se bolo Ganesh Bhagwan ki jai, Prem se bolo Saraswati Mata ki jai, Prem se bolo Guru Deo ki jai. Before we commence with the sermon for today, devotees, related to Mother Sita, that is, again, just giving you all some helpful tips to help you at home when you perform your own pujas. And today what we want to talk about, or what I want to talk about specifically, is the benefits and danger of a very particular substance that we use during puja all the time. You all see it, and that substance is known as camphor. Fire. Close. It makes fire. So why is camphor so important to Sanatana Dharma? It's supposed to be a very combustible, very pure material. And you think, well, if it's so pure, why does it burn black? Well, what is camphor? And I've talked about this before. If you've been in here, you've heard my science class on camphor. What is camphor? It's what? What element is it? It's carbon. It's refined, very reactive combustible carbon. Now, what happens when you oxidize carbon? What comes out? Smoke. Oxidized carbon turns into oxidized carbon. Right? That comes out as black smoke. So it's not that it's unclean or impure, but we also have to recognize when there's appropriate times to use it and when there's inappropriate times to use it. Now, there's really three kinds of camphors you'll find at the store. There's the regular combustible camphor. There's the smokeless camphor, and then there is the edible camphor. Delicious, right? So it's all three of those things that are different out there, but all three of those things are appropriate to use. I can tell you out of the three, only one of them is not appropriate to use. The smokeless camphor. Has anybody ever opened up a jar of smokeless camphor and taken a whiff? Yeah, what does it smell like, Mahendra? Ammonia. Why do you think it smells like ammonia? Because it's cut with nitrogen. It's cut with specific elements and chemicals that make it so that it's combustible but doesn't produce smoke. If it doesn't produce smoke, I got to tell you, it's not really a clean burning form of camphor. Have you ever seen chlorine burn? What happens when you burn chlorine? I was a biomedical engineer. When you burn pure chlorine from the solid state into the vaporous state, it turns into chlorine gas. Can you see chlorine gas? No, it's very toxic to you actually, and it settles on the ground. Usually things that burn clean from a solid to a vapor form that don't produce that amount of smoke usually have some sort of a toxic nature. That's why things like carbon monoxide poisoning, chlorine gas are very dangerous. That's why we want to see the smoke come off camphor. Edible camphor is fine. And again, that's only used for certain parts of puja, like we do for offering tambulam. But the regular camphor is really what we need to be using. Now, do we need to use smokeless camphor? I keep using that word. Do we need to use regular camphor for every single diya, every single hawan, every single time? We really shouldn't. According to the Vedas, you should be making your diyas out of just a wick and some ghee. Putting too much camphor on it really turns into what we deem as a karpur arti, and that's an inappropriate step for a puja. That's why I recommend using these lighters. Teja, show them the lighter, please. Your lightsaber. That lighter, which butane, windproof, lights diyas, no problem. We use camphor in what we deem as emergent situations or karpur arti. So if your fire is about to go out, toss some camphor on there to make sure it doesn't go out. But we only really use it for karpur arti, and that's really the main purpose of it. So camphor is great, but when you're at home and when you're doing your puja, as much as I love the idea of smokeless camphor, please don't buy it anymore. It really, again, because it's not the natural element, and because it's cut with some other things, and because of the smell that may come off of it, we're looking at something that's more in the carcinogenic range, but also something that's not really pure to offer for Bhagwan. So, what are the two kinds of camphor you can use at home? regular camphor that produces black smoke, or edible camphor. Do you want to eat edible camphor? Not really, but it's good for puja. Okay, so those are the things you really need to know about camphor. The crumblier it is, the better it is, by the way. That's the last thing here. Devotees, we're not going to read from the Srimad Bhagavad Puran today, because we have to hear really about a special event that occurred this week. And that event was known as Sita Jayanti. And the Sita Jayanti talks about the birth of Mother Sita. Now, I'm not going to sing any songs or do anything for you specific or special, but I want you to understand the story. Now, with every story, there's a backstory. Mother Sita obviously had parents. Those parents were rulers of a kingdom. Now, there was a boon given to these parents in a past life, that they'd be the parents of what we deem as, at this point in time, Mother Lakshmi. So now we go to this very unique, specific kingdom. Does anybody remember from the Shiva Charitammanas what the name of the kingdom is? Mithila. The name of the kingdom is Mithila. Now, Mithila was a very prosperous kingdom. And it wasn't prosperous in the sense that it was the wealthiest kingdom out there, but it was prosperous in the sense that it was never in need. Now, what does it mean to never be in need? Does it mean that you have the most money? No, not at all. Not at all. It means that you have good amount of resources and your citizens are living very humbly, but also very happily. That's why when you learn to grow your own food, maintain your own house, build your own water mills, things like they used to do back in Guyana, it was a very different time, but they were self-sustaining. You guys were able to do a lot of things that we really take for granted here in the United States. So Mithila was a very, very prosperous king, very supported. And why was that? Because they had great leadership. They had great leadership. Their leadership didn't focus so much on the wealth and the trade and the taxes and everything that went on around them. They focused on ensuring that the kingdom was prospering based off of the workforce and off the people who were there. Now, here's a very important thing about their leadership. Their king, his name was Janak. Raja Janak was very noble in the sense that he was a true leader. Now, what do we think about when we think about leader? We think about somebody who is essentially guiding us on the right path. Now, with Raja Janak, he was never the kind of leader who would point at you and tell you how to do something. He was the kind of leader who would show you how to do it himself, and lead by example. He's the true meaning of what a leader really looks like. Now, we hear about Raja Dasarath, and we hear about him and his kingdom. We don't hear a lot about of his leadership. The first king we really hear a lot about leadership from is Raja Janak, really, and how he led his people. So he was out in the fields, he was plowing, he would go pick weeds, he would shovel manure, he would go drain the water system, ensure that everybody had clean water to drink from, and he would guide and teach people on how to do these things. So imagine a king that wakes up every morning, the first thing he does is praise, and then he doesn't go sit on his throne and look at tax documents and things that balance the king. The first thing he does is goes out and helps his people before coming back to maintain the finances and the economy of the kingdom. A person who leads by example. And we all love that. Who loves a leader that just tells you what to do all the time but never shows you how to do it, that never provides you guidance or support? That's really what we deem as a toxic workplace. I know my generation a lot talks about that a lot and how they have to deal with it. Older generation had to deal with it too. There's a lot of different things that we have to look at here which teaches us how to be good people. Now, Raja Janak and his wife, which his wife's name wasn't so much mentioned in the Tulsidas Ramayana. Remember, the Tulsidas Ramayana is a very more melodic sort of Ramayana. We have the Balmiki Ramayana. Her name was mentioned there. Does anybody know the name of Raja Janak's wife? Man, I'm asking you all a lot of tough questions today. Sunaina. Sunaina was her name. A very beautiful name. They were both great leaders. Mother Sunaina would always do things that helped the kingdom too. Show the women how to do specific work, show them how to balance their own money, run the household. She would also be very supportive to the kingdom and helping with farming, with maintaining the land and doing everything else. So there was a boon for Raja Janak and Mother Sunaina back when they were, again, many lifetimes ago, that they, based off their sacrifice to Bhagwan, would bear a child who is the essence and the incarnation of Mother Lakshmi. So again, every morning, Raja Janak prayed. Him and his wife weren't able to bear children. They were never able to do it up until a specific point. They would pray every morning, but their prayer wasn't asking for children. This is the important point. When you heard about Raja Janak and Mother Sunaina praying, what were they praying for? No, they weren't praying for a child. No, they were just praying to pray. They wanted a child. Of course, don't get me wrong, they wanted a child, but never once did they ask Bhagwan, please provide me with a child. Something new in them that one day they would have a child. But what they did when they prayed was they offered devotional service. They made sure they did everything they needed to possible to ensure that they're being super devoted to Bhagwan. And of course, what happens when you show devotion? What happens when you show love and care? That energy comes back to you tenfold, hundredfold, millionfold. So one day, and again, there's another story that leads up to this. Raja Janak woke up, him and his wife went, they prayed, and then they started to perform their duties in the land. Now, Raja Janak was out in the field this day. He decided that he was going to plow the fields. Now, keep in mind, I'm a millennial. I've only ever dug in the dirt. I've never really done this back like some other folks may have. He had his donkey, ox, horse, whatever you call it. He had his plow, his hearse. What do you guys, did you guys call it a plow? The metal thing that would, yeah? Had it attached. And he was going through the field with that. And as he was going, what was he doing the entire time? He was praying and he was singing in the name of Bhagwan, just very unconsciously through the devotion in his heart. And at that time, he also started thinking about a daughter or maybe having some sort of a child of his own. And what happened, as he was plowing that field, all of a sudden that plow hit something and stopped. Something so strong, so sturdy in the earth that the ox or whatever animal was moving that plow couldn't even move it themselves. So they had to move the plow out of the way, and then Raja Janak decided to dig in the dirt. And as he dug, it's like, typically when you dig, it gets darker and darker. Well, he was digging in the earth, and for some reason it started to become brighter and lighter. Light started to shine through. Very unique situation. Some of us would run for the hills. Some of us would be like, ooh, meteorite superpowers. Who knows? So he's digging further and further into the earth, and all of a sudden he finds what we deem is, and it's shaped, and it's described in the Valmiki Ramayana as a gourd-like structure, golden in nature, with a slit in the side. I don't know how you want to interpret gourd. I think of it like a peanut shell for the most part. But he felt an energy resonating from whatever this vessel was. And as he picked that vessel up, he could feel it moving, kind of like an egg, freshly ready to hatch. And as he opened up that casket to see what was inside, he was breathtaking. He was beholden, because inside was the most beautiful, most wondrous little girl he'd ever seen. It makes me think of when Andy, was born. It's like the first time you see that child, it's the most gorgeous thing in the world. He sees this beautiful child, which he knows is not his, but somehow he feels connected to this child. Somehow he feels that this child is meant to be with him and his wife. He takes the child, of course, to his wife. He doesn't just decide to keep it. Because remember, when you take a vow as a husband and wife, when you take those vows, one of those things is any big step, any new challenge, any sort of undertaking, you have to have agreement from your significant other before you do so. So he took this child to Sunaina and said, I found this child in the field. I don't know who it belongs to. We don't know where she came from, but I know she's meant to be with us. And with that, devotees, the birth or the creation of Mother Sita had happened. Now, do we know exactly where Mother Sita came from? Not exactly. We know she was created. She came from the ground. Thank you, Tejas. We know that she was created. She knows she was manifested. But not every creation story involves the birth of a child. Not every parent is a biological child, a biological parent to the child. But does that mean that they treated her any different than they would if she was their own daughter? They loved for her. They cared for her. They did everything for her in the same way. Just like any parent who feels responsible as a parent should do so. So with this, devotees, we hear the birth story of Mother Sita. And again, she's known as Mother Sita, and she has many names. But she's the daughter of Raja Janak and Mother Sunaina. She's a child of the earth, but she's also creation and a being of light. And that's what she radiated up until the very time that she left this earth. And so that's what we really need to recognize here. There's a few key issues, key morals of the story. The first moral is, if you're going to be a leader, lead by example. Right? Whenever you want to lead, make sure you're leading everybody and showing them exactly how you want them to do things, not telling them and expecting them to do something different. Tejas, you go ahead and light the diyas. The second example here is, if you pray, no matter what you want in the world, just pray. Don't think about what you want. Whatever you want will come to you. Have that devotion and focus on that wholeheartedly when you're praying. Just pray to pray. Don't pray to ask for certain things. And then the third thing that we have here is that it doesn't matter if there's a being that sits in front of you that's related to you, that's not related to you, that's a stranger or somebody you've known for a long time. You treat them with love, you treat them with care, you treat them with respect, because that person could be, at the end of the day, for all you know, an essence of Bhagwan, the true essence of Bhagwan, the person who can give you the greatest happiness and the most blessings in the world. Just remember those morals of the story. Prem se Bolo, Sita Mata ki Jai. Devotees, may we all please stand for final arti.
ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, भक्त जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। जो द्वावे पल पावे, दुख विनसे मन का। स्वामी दुख विनसे मन का। सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे। कष्ट मिटे तन का। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। मात पिता तुम मेरे, शरण कहूँ जिसकी। स्वामी शरण कहूँ जिसकी। तुम बिन और न दूजा, तुम बिन और न दूजा। आस करूं जिसकी। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा, तुम अंतर्यामी। स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी। पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर, पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर। तुम सबके स्वामी। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। तुम करुणा के सागर, तुम पालन करता। स्वामी तुम पालन करता। मैं मूरख कल कामी, मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी। कृपा करो बरता। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। तुम हो एका गोचर, सबके प्राणपति। स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किस विध मिलो दया में, किस विध मिलो दया में। तुमको मैं कुमति। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता, तुम रक्षक मेरे। स्वामी तुम रक्षक मेरे। अपने हाथ उठाओ, अपने हाथ उठाओ। द्वार पर तेरे। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिटाओ, पाप हरो देवा। स्वामी पाप हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ। संतन की सेवा। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। तन मन धन सब कुछ तेरा। स्वामी सब कुछ है तेरा। तेरा तुझको अर्पण, तेरा तुझको अर्पण। क्या लागे मेरा। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, भक्त जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
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 हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा।
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 हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी, हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। भजले भजले सीताराम, मंगल मूर्ति सुंदर श्याम।
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 भजले भजले सीताराम, मंगल मूर्ति सुंदर श्याम
भजले भजले ओमकार नाम मंगलमूर्ति सुंदर श्याम
भजले भजले ओंकारा मंगल मूर्ति सुंदर श्याम
भजले भजले सीताराम मंगलमूर्ति सुंदर श्याम
मंगलमूर्ति सुंदर श्याम मंगलमूर्ति सुंदर श्याम
And as we conclude with our puja for today, devotees, I ask, as we started, that we all join together as we go ahead and clasp our hands and close our eyes. I want you to take a deep breath in, filling your lungs all the way. And as you exhale, relax your spine, drop your shoulders, relax your neck, your forehead, relax your entire body. With your eyes staying closed, devotees, I want you to focus on a form of Bhagwan that's most pleasing to you, one that helps you concentrate and maintain devotion. And join together with me as we chant our closing prayers. Om Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu Sarvesham Shanti Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Om Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschita Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardanam Yatya Pujitam Maya Neva Paripurnam Dharasumi Papoham Papo Karmaham Papo Atma Papo Sambhova Rahimam Bundari Kaksham Sarva Papo Haru Hari Om Tvameva Mata Sapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidyandravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Asatoma Sadhamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityoma Mritam Yamaya Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Devotees, may we all please bow. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deo Maheshwaram Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guru Namah Tasmai Shri Guru Namah Om Dhyav Shantir Antariksha Om Shantir Prithvi Shantir Apa Shantir Aushadheya Shantir Vanaspati Shantir Vishwadeva Shantir Brahma Shantir Sarvevam Shantir Shantireva Shanti Sama Shanti Redhi Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Prem se bolo Ganesh Bhagwan ki, Prem se bolo Adi Shakti Durga Mata ki, Prem se bolo Vishnu Bhagwan ki, Prem se bolo Shiva Shankar Bhagwan ki, Prem se bolo Shiv Shakti Mandir ki, Prem se bolo Sanatana Dharma ki. I know. And with this, devotees, we've come to the end of our Sunday morning satsang. Again, being April 30th, 2023. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here in person. For those of you who are here, anybody chatting in the chat? Auntie Zandra, Sita Ram. I'm going to have to look at that name because I love Mahendra, but I don't know if I trust his enunciation. So the Auntie Zandra, J. Sita Ram. I don't see the other name. Oh, okay. Okay. But to whoever else chatted, J. Sita Ram to you as well. Devotees, just a few announcements. Like I had mentioned earlier, this past couple, like it's Friday going into Saturday, was known as Sita Jayanti. So for those of you who celebrated, that's wonderful. We made sure to do a few things here. Let me find my calendar really quickly. And then when it comes to any other events, I mean, there's only a few other things coming up. Just know that on the American calendar, we have Mother's Day coming up in May 14th. Father's Day is on June 18th. And the only other religious event that we have is Guru Purnima, and that's on Sunday, July 2nd of this year. That's Sunday, July 2nd. Other than that, we really won't get into any like full services until September when we get into Shri Krishna Janmashtami and Shri Ganesh Chaturthi. So more announcements on those things to come. Just a few announcements for my end, devotees. I've been talking to Serena about this for a while. This summer, with some of the availability I have, and I know that there's going to be kids who have availability too. I know people will be traveling. I'm going to be offering what I deem as a music theory course for Western to Eastern culture music. It's going to be a 6-week course. It'll be here in the Mandir after service is done. We're going to cover things like music dynamics, scale, rhythm, beats, and anything that I feel like an essential musician needs to know that you may have not been taught, and maybe you've learned over time but never have understood the basics and fundamentals of it. So like I said, this summer I will be offering that. And then come fall time, devotees, for those of you who are interested in learning harmonium, I will be offering harmonium classes in the fall. But the thing about the harmonium classes, and what I want you to understand too, is if you want to do harmonium classes, the music theory class is going to be very vital for you. So I don't want to say that you shouldn't be here for the summer, but if you can make it, you're going to learn something very valuable. Like, what is an 8-beat? What is a 16th beat? What is a whole note? What is a quarter note? How does that relate to the harmonium? How does that relate to the balance inside of the mandir and how we balance our harmonies together? So again, that's going to be going on this summer. Again, the first class will probably be the weekend of June. I think June 3rd is that, June 4th. We'll be starting on June 4th. The only reason it's 6 weeks is because there's 2 weekends during the month of June and July that I won't be here. One weekend I'll be at a comic book convention. I'm not going to be ignorant about that. I'll be at a comic book convention. And the other weekend I will be at an engagement puja up in New York for one of my family members. So I just won't be here for 2 weekends. The only other announcement that I have to say is I apologize for any faces I've been making today, devotees. Today I'm very uncomfortable and I'm in a lot of pain. Just to be transparent with you all, I have a torn meniscus in my right knee that's been torn for a long time. And after the last few weeks have happened, I've noticed a big bump forming there. Right now I have a cyst that's growing inside of my knee, applying pressure. That cyst is about 1.5 inches in size. There's a giant bump on my knee. And when you have a cyst, it bundles up on the nerves and pushes on the nerves. So it's causing me a lot of pain, which is why I'm stretching out, but also straining to get up and down. So mid-May, I'll be getting some surgery. We'll be getting this pain out of the way. I just want to let you all know that. And other than that, devotees, I have no other announcements. I hope that you all have a safe, happy, healthy, fantastic week. Looks like today just got a whole lot better. I know it's supposed to get windy, but I hope you all have a safe week. Have a wonderful Sunday, and I'll see you next Sunday for our regular Sunday morning satsang. Jai Sita Ram to every single one of you. I'll now hand the microphone over to our president for a few more announcements.
So, we always start the sentence with so. You hear that, Tim? So. So, Pat, another mini over there. So, she finished both her undergraduate and graduate study, and now she's into the employment field. So, I know, but now she is like, she's accepting patients. Come here. Instead of me telling the audience, why don't you tell them what your career is? And so maybe I will sign up.
Okay. So I'm a mental health therapist, and I just received a job, a full-time job at a private practice in Sandy Springs.
So where's your practice located?
It's in Sandy Springs.
Sandy Springs.
Yeah.
How many of you live in Sandy Springs? All of you.
Nobody.
So, see her, so come. Congratulations. We're so proud of you. I know you when you're the size of Pia, you know, when you start coming to this mandir, and look at you now. Now you have to work and support. Where the old lady at? It's over there. So she said, no, Tara, you're still on your own. Very good. Congratulations. And we still got a couple more weeks for school before the kids are out. We got an upcoming employee into the workforce here. She's going to be working with me at the airport. And you know what gray hair look like? Look at Uncle Barry, that's what gray hair look like. Yeah. After you finish your internship with me, that's how you're gonna look. You ready for it? She's now all scared. So we're excited. We're gonna be onboarding 100, well we already are, 125 high school kids to work for us at the airport. And we're paying them a decent salary. We're gonna start them out with $16.50 an hour. So, I was gonna start them out at 15, but I told my CFO, let's start them out at $16.50, and he said, well, it will cost us X number of thousand. I said, I think we could afford it, you know. So, I'm very happy to see her, and she's gonna learn good skill set, along with the other 124 students. We're very excited to have them. As part of our commitment to the community, our stewardship to the community, is give kids an opportunity at the airport. And my partner over in Delta are going to be doing the same thing. You know, they do have an internship, so. And maybe you and Ash could take a flight together too. Yeah. She could afford now, she could pay for it. All right, we do have Bojan on the next side, so please partake in Bojan. But today we're going to celebrate a few people's birthday that we haven't celebrated over the last few weeks because of either cancelment or one thing or another. So we have my sister Tara, she turned 16 with her 3 teenage, yeah right, with your 3 adult daughters over here. I'm going to tell my Mosi about you. You didn't behave yesterday, so I'm going to tell her about you. And Ash celebrated her birthday a couple of weeks ago, and Indira, that we didn't celebrate. So the 3 of you will celebrate your birthday today. So yeah. There you go again, being lub. All right. Take your seat. Come on, take your seat. Let's celebrate your birthday.
बार बार दिन ये आए, बार बार दिन ये गाए, बार बार दिन ये आए, बार बार दिन ये गाए, तो जिए हजारों सा ये मेरे है आरज़ू। Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to all of you, happy birthday to you। बेकरार हो के दामन थाम लूं मैं किसका, क्या मिसाल दूं मैं तेरे, नाम लूं मैं किसका। birthday to all of you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to